The reason that ARPG mobile games don't typically attract a large number of players is that, well, they either have a large number of issues or are overly simplistic to be fun at all. An attempt has been made to bring back the original game developed in 2020 titled Raziel Dungeon Arena, which died shortly after. Raziels Rebirth Dungeon Raid claims to have an exciting and engaging ARPG hack-and-slash experience, in addition to a large number of new events and content for players to enjoy. Personally, I've never heard of this game before, and from my first impressions of this beta experience, I wish I kinda still didn't. Having a story that's incorporated into a genre I typically want to devote my time to with the sake of farming for powerful weapons and material while also mowing down a large number of demons is not something that I find to be very interesting as a player. I just don't understand why the game was told to terrible censorship with the cutscenes and some of the voice dialogue. It just seemed like a distraction and a huge downgrade from many viewpoints, especially considering that every single character appeared and sounded like another character from another game entirely, like Ashe from League of Legends or even Shadow from Path of Exiles. I just could never shake the feeling that this game was trying super hard to be something other than itself. Getting into the actual issue that I have with this game was the user interface being extremely frustrating and difficult to navigate. I spent a good couple of minutes attempting to find the talent tree and many of the other features, but I kept popping up the wrong tabs. I feel like it's due to the fact that there are just so many ways to hide the elements of the UI in a banner-style rollout effect, which serves two purposes. Which really got me thinking, would it have been possible for them to make it a little bit more simpler? I was playing through the game and simply trying to fight and travel through the stages, but there was just so much downtime and the user interface kept getting in the way that it actually got me close to being killed because it would literally block the abilities and the ability to teleport away. The removal of censorship, the improvement of the user interface, and the elimination of the loading gray screen that limits abilities for a brief period of time after entering a new area would be a significant improvement in my opinion. There really wasn't anything wrong with the game. It plays very well when it does work, and the gameplay was fairly addicting and exciting. I can really see a lot of gamers getting into this game if they wanted gameplay akin to Path of Exiles or even Grim Dawn. I felt like it was tremendously in-depth with a smooth execution. The skill trees and the numerous various skill paths contributed to that as well as the ability to choose your pre-built styles if you didn't like experimentation. Perhaps it was because I prepared myself by fighting a lot of the bosses and activating several powerful sets over the course of time, but I didn't really feel like the content that I was experiencing felt difficult, which was both a positive and negative thing. I really enjoy playing ARPGs that allow me to be extremely powerful during the early game, but I also want to feel the dread of death in a hardcore Dead as Dead experience, which really gets to heart racing, but it just wasn't here. It just felt very casual. The only time I ever truly died was because a boss mechanic did not work the way that the tooltip described it would, which I can only assume was a bug as the boss did not drop loot multiple times. I really want to come back to the game, but I also don't. This has potential to become the kind of ARPG that I as a player enjoy playing. The kind of game which involves mindless fighting and farming bosses for best in slot items and material, trading with other players, creating a community, and constructing your own builds, which simply amounts to a fun experience. However, if none of the problems that were addressed are fixed, it will undoubtedly fail the same way that the original did.